that on? Okay. Yeah. Ready? Would the keeper of the flame please bring forward the Christ candle? Right here. There you go. Namaste.
Good morning, beloved of God.
Morning.
Right where you are at this moment, the light of Spirit shines through you. Infinitely loved by God, you are the light of the world. I'm Bernie, and I welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center of Waco this morning. Just as a reminder, would you please ensure that your cell phones are silenced? Please stand as you are able and join in our congregational singing.
Okay. Yeah. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All things on mine, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy.
on the screen. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. We are a beacon of love and light for those who need this spiritual home right now. Let us say together our vision, mission, and our core value for today. Our vision: to awaken the awareness of spirit in our lives through modern application of ancient wisdom. Our mission statement: raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time, beginning with me. Our core value for today is spiritual principles. We uplift all people in their spiritual growth as we apply the principles taught by Jesus the Christ and embrace the universal truths of other faith traditions. Our daily word today for Sunday, August 8th, is protected. Sometimes I may feel at the mercy of a changing, tumultuous world I cannot control. This is never true. Even though the chaos of the world may swirl around me, at the center of my being is a place of perfect peace and calm. Whenever I am in need of a safe refuge, I turn to God within to reach this place of tranquility and reclaim my feeling of security and protection. The sun always rises after the longest, darkest night. I remind myself of this truth and feel grateful as I allow the light of spiritual understanding to release and reclaim whatever power I may have unwittingly given to a fear-based thought. Fully in tune with the divine presence within me, I move safely and confidently through every challenging circumstance. Today's Bible verse is from John 1, verse 4. The one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. Our affirmation for today, I'll say it and please repeat after me. Through my oneness with God, I feel protected. Through my oneness with God, I feel protected.
Please remain seated. Today we're going to learn a new song. Very exciting stuff. It's very easy. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Ready?
Sorry, we were supposed to sing that, but I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I give and I receive. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. Angels are watching over me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well. And we can all dance in our seats. I love this song. Almost time. You ready to sing again? It's coming up. Here we go. 2, 1. I am healed, whole and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. All is well, all is well. I am well. You guys learned a new song. Cheers to you. I'm sorry I sound like this. I'm Sahara Sands, man.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Don, and it's a pleasure to welcome each of you to Unity Spiritual Center today. Together we affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all that is, and our oneness in God. Your presence is essential for each of you, or each of us, I should say, is a unique aspect of the spirit that is Unity Spiritual Center. Right here and right now. And we know that none of us is here by accident or coincidence. Unity is a New Thought denomination, yet New Thought is nothing new to the world. It is in reality a synthesis of the greatest concepts of the mind and spirits of humankind throughout the ages. The laws of Moses, the love of Christ, the ethics of Buddha, morals of Confucius, and the 5 pillars of Islam, and the deep spiritual realization of the Hindus, all find an exalted place in the philosophy of unity. In unity, we believe that all people are created with sacred worth, regardless of culture, ethnicity, sexuality, or creed, and we know that neither God nor unity leaves anyone out. So as we begin our service today, let's begin with prayer. Infinite presence, loving spirit, we come together today in your presence to open our hearts, our minds, and to live through your presence, your wholeness. We allow that wholeness within ourselves. For in your presence we are complete. We lack nothing. We are an expression of your spirit, your love, and the energy that is God. We open ourselves to allow this out. For allowing it out is how we truly are blessed and how we realize our worth and truth. We allow your presence to flow through us, guiding us to be the person we are meant to be during this life. And we realize that in truth we are a spiritual being created in the image and likeness of God, each of us unique, but each of us together. For in your presence, we radiate that truth that is God. And for this, we say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. When the disciples asked, how should we pray? Jesus gave them the Lord's Prayer, which we say together now as translated from the Aramaic, which is on the screen. Infinite presence, which is everywhere. Your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. And you give us our needful bread from day to day. And you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error, because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song, and the praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Each of us is the light and love of God, spiritual beings having a human experience. And you are God's beloved, and we embrace you today.
Hello again. The whisper that I hear in my heart telling me it's time to start, to set my inhibitions free, become the me I'm here to be. So I'll act brave as if I am, act as if until I can, live each day as though I know that what I seek is seeking me. Even when that's hard to see, I choose faith, so I believe. What I seek is seeking me. It's time to just let go of my fear, trusting that the net will appear. Even things I know are true, in everything I say and do. So I'll act brave as if I am, act as if until I can, live each day as though I know that what I seek is seeking me. Even when that's hard to see, I choose faith, so I believe. What I seek is seeking me. What I seek is seeking me. I believe. When every day is a daily grind, peace is something I can't find. This is what I keep in mind. What I seek is seeking me. Even when that's hard to see, I choose faith, so I believe. What I seek is seeking me. What I seek is seeking me. Even when that's hard to see, I choose faith, so I believe. What I seek is seeking me. 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 I believe, I believe, I believe, oh. What I seek, what I seek, what I seek is seeking me.
Finding wholeness is our talk today. I decided to find wholeness. I've lost some weight, I'm sure you've noticed. Decided to get back into shape. Wanted to get that six-pack abs back. Even went and talked to a trainer and said, okay, do I need to do crunches? Do I need to do what? I got to get this going. He said, well, it doesn't work that way. It's a whole package. You can't just work on your stomach. You have to work on it all because it all works together. Oh, so I just, no, he said, you got to work on it all. Well, I kind of resigned myself to the fact and said, okay, I don't need them that bad anyway. So, living in wholeness and wellness is being in balance with the gifts and resources of life. This is about wellness in a holistic sense. And to that end, I give 3 points. Seek and ye shall find. Anything is possible. And see holistically. Seek and ye shall find. After years of searching, there was a man seeking truth. What is truth? And he heard from somebody, well, there's a cave up on the mountain. If you go in the cave, there's a well. Ask the well the question and you'll get your answer. He got, well, really? So he went on the mountain and he searched, he found the cave, went in the cave, and in there he found that fountain. And he approached it, he said, what is truth? And up out of the fountain came this realization, this answer. It says, go down to the crossroads of the village and you will find your answer. Well, he got all enthused. He ran down the mountain, got off the mountain, ran to the crossroads, and there he found 3 little shops, indiscreet little shops. One of them, the first one, made pieces of metal. The next one made pieces of wood. And the third one made this little thin metal, made it into wire. He inquired within each of them and said, oh, I've sent here for this answer. They had no idea what he was talking about. No help there at all. So he kind of trudged back up on the mountain, went into the cave and demanded, okay, you said I found the answer. What is the answer? I didn't find anything. He said, well, you will in due time. Well, he felt like he'd been made foolish, but nothing he could do about it. So he left the mountain, went on his journey through life, still seeking that truth. And as he got older, still searching, but he found himself slowing down. He started spending more time in the moment, spending more time completing whatever it was he was working with or on. And then finally one night he was walking through a small village and he heard this music, beautiful music, from a sitar. And he had to go and look at this to see what that music was, where it was coming from. So he saw the player sitting and strumming on this. He says his hands, fingers were just like magic going over the strings, bringing out this beautiful sound. So he went and sat before him and watched, just kind of engrossed into this moment, this music. And then he started looking at the sitar. and he realized his answer. Because as he looked at it, this complete, beautiful instrument putting out this magic, this beautiful sound, he realized that this sitar was made out of pieces of metal, pieces of wood, and wire. He'd been looking at it wrong all of these years. He'd been seeing the wood and the metal and the wires, but looking at that instrument, he realized it all comes together to form that magic, that sound, bring out that beauty. And that was his answer. He'd had that answer all his life. He was whole. He was complete. He was just looking at it as pieces. He understood the message of the well. That he had already been given everything he needed. The task is to assemble it and use it. The parts of our lives are not so meaningful as long as we look at them as separate fragments of who we are. But if we look at it from a whole, deeper understanding, we find more vivid reality emerges. Wholeness. Next. Anything is possible. When I was a small child, at night, I'd be playing in my room. I'd imagine myself as being a submarine. I could go in the ocean, I could be on top, I could dive down, I could explore, see all the new things, the fish, everything down there from that perspective. Loved it. But then I got to thinking, well, I'm stuck in the ocean. So I made myself a tank. When on the land, I could go anywhere. I could knock down walls, I could go over and around sand dunes, climb mountains, do what I wanted. But I glanced up at the sky. I said, wow. So I made myself an airplane. I could soar, I could climb, twist, turns, fly around the clouds, through the clouds, do whatever I wanted in the sky. Life was beautiful. This one's special to me, as you probably know. I love to fly. But I was thinking, well, now I'm stuck in the sky. Came up with a new idea. I'd make myself something special, something mankind's never seen before. So I had this ability. I could go in the ocean, I could go on land, I could go in the sky. I could do it all. All I had to do was imagine it, to see it, and bring it about. We have more power with our imagination than we realize. What we dream about, what we see, to bring it about. And the third part, see holistically. In the book, Being Ram Dass, scientists go to the brain to get to the mind. But neuroscience has never been able to adequately define consciousness. It's like the guy who loses his keys, and he's hunting for the keys under this street light. Somebody walks by and sees him and says, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm looking for my lost keys. He said, well, where did you lose them? Well, back in the alley. Well, why are you looking under the street light? He said, well, the light's a lot better here. So, finding where to look, we need to listen within, not just be scattered and random. You walk into the grocery store. I do. I'm looking for apples. Want something to eat. Love an apple. That taste, that fragrance. So I go to the produce section and I look, and there's the aisle that's all apples. As I look down the aisle, I look on the left, and there you have the red and the green apples, and above it it says Jonathan apples. They look great. And I look over to the right, and there's the green apples, and it says Granny Smith apples. And then there's the Gala apples, and this. And there must be a dozen different kinds of apples there. But I look all the way down at the end, there's a table, a display of these big red apples that's what I'm looking for. Red, delicious apples. So I head down the aisle headed to look at these apples because that's what I want. And as I get closer, it looks like the grocer has taken each one of them and polished them and waxed them. They're just shiny and bright red. I get closer and I'm seeing those apples and I pick one up and I look at this apple. It's perfectly round and just shaped just right. Beautiful color. And it could be in a postcard or in art or something. It's that special. And as I look, they all look like this. Give me a bag and I'm starting to load them. I'm starting to look at them looking for blemishes or soft spots. But they're all perfect. It's like the grocer had already done that for me. There's nothing wrong with any of them. So I load them up and I go to the cashier and I get to the cashier and he smiles. I said, I wanted some apples. And he said, I had one of those on break. He said, those apples are perfect. He said, they just don't get any better than that. And so I'm kind of whetting my appetite. I can taste the smell of all these apples. I go to my car. I'm going to go home and eat an apple. I get in the car. I close the door, and then that aroma comes up from those apples. I can smell it. Just, we're not making it home. I get an apple out, look at it, and I take a big bite. And I had that crunch as you bite into that apple, really fresh, nice, and pull away and it kind of makes that little sound as it separates. Life is good. And I don't know about you, but that almost makes me salivate thinking about those apples and wanting them, tasting them. And our imagination doesn't know the difference. It cannot tell. Well, our mind cannot tell whether we're realizing truth or we're imagining something vividly. It can't tell the difference. So we need to learn to look at things holistically, imagine, and see the things we want. Train our mind into that solution. There is no more beautiful experience than when the world expands beyond its previous limits. Those are the moments when reality takes on splendor. It is a quality that bliss, a quality of bliss, I should say, that is natural to us, but one that we covered over by layers of dulled awareness. Instead of remaining open, we kind of close ourselves in. We need to open ourselves up. That reminds me of a story when I was in college. I got back from Vietnam in 1968, the end of the year. I was stationed actually at Fort Hood, just down the road here. I was there till the early part of March 1970. I got out of the Army, we moved to El Paso, and I started going to UTEP to attend college. I was attending over the summer, met some people there, started to get friends, and a couple of my friends said, we're going camping in the Gila Wilderness in New Mexico for 4 or 5 days. Would you like to join us? Well, when I was a teenager, I lived in Silver City, which was just south of that Gila Wilderness. I knew the country and knew it was beautiful, and I said I'd love to. So we went. Well, we were getting ready to go camping. First, we had to figure out what all we need, so I got some clothes, food, backpack, got everything loaded, make sure I was taken care of. Weighed the pack, it was over 70 pounds. One of the other guys, his was too. At that time, I weighed about 140 pounds. Had a pretty good pack here. So we're going to the wilderness. We get to the wilderness, it's 2 million acres, and 500,000 of it is a primitive area. The only way in is either to walk or ride a horse, nothing mechanical. If a plane flew over, they had to remain above a certain altitude because they wanted this to be pristine. So I was looking forward to this, excited. So we get to the park, and first there's a road that turns off. You can go down to the Gila Cliff Dwellings, which would be another adventure, just not what we were doing that day. So we head on down the road, and what I looked at, saw, was where people had camped. You had the old campfires, you had empty Coke cans, empty beer bottles, candy bar wrappers, just trash. And I was wondering, why would people do that to a place like this? But, you know, it's just the way it is. So we went on down, got to where we parked the car, and the way we were going into the perimeter, it's 7 miles up this mountain, and then 3.5 miles back down the other side to get down in where there's a little trout stream and everything where we could go camping. So as we started up the trail, headed up the mountain, the first thing I noticed, it didn't take long before we started getting away from all the trash, all of that. And as we went along, I noticed there was no initials carved on a tree, nothing. And I was working, heading up the mountain, but I could see the beauty showing forth. And we continued to climb up this trail. Well, finally, we made it to 7 miles, got to the crest, and I stood there, and we were just silent. Nobody could really speak. Because as we looked out before us, we could see down, we could see meadows, the forest, we could see other mountains, just all of it coming together. And I was just struck by that beauty, that wholeness. And I allowed myself to be pulled into that. Just feeling I was part of that. And that's the way we open ourselves. We are part of that beauty, that is God. That's in all of this. It was like an awakening. Just to be part of all of that is. Let go of that stuff back down. What a beautiful experience it was. That's 50 years ago. I still remember that. That experience was a revelation. Being shown life as it really is. And feeling waves of consciousness welling up from within that awakening. Life is consciousness. And consciousness is awareness. When you pay attention to something, you are energetically part of that. And you have both the feeling of release and dominion, all at the same time. If you're thinking about any ideas of your life and is narrow and sloppy, you can't participate fully in the blessings that God has in store for us. If you are unaware of the beauty of this planet and the life around us, you can't be good stewards. If our relationships are polluted by judgments, regret, and unforgiveness, we're not as able to receive love. If we have lost the sense of creativity, possibility, and generosity, we are damming up the wellspring of abundance. And if we have become rigid and filled with stress, we are out of balance with vital energy needed for the health of our bodies. It stands then that our personal, global, and cosmic duty is to be in timelessness now, with an awareness of the presence of God within us. We are meant to live life in wholeness, all together. I look at that journey we made, and it reminds me of life. I started out down there where there was the trash and the campfires and all of that. But when I got on that trail and started climbing that mountain, moving up that trail, we barely got started when I started seeing that negativity falling away. Started to begin to see the beauty that lay before us. That trail didn't just go straight up the mountain. There was little dips and stuff as we went along. Just like life, we have our challenges. But if we stay on that trail, if we hold that summit in our vision, we're going to make progress. We're going to climb. We're going to make it. Yeah, it took a little effort. I was carrying a pretty good pack. But when I hit that summit, there's nothing like that beauty of letting go, of being where each of us truly are. Each of you are an expression of God. We just need to peel back the layers and allow that to come forth. Nothing can stop us but ourselves. You are an expression of God. And let's take this now into a time of meditation. So right where you are, just sit back. Allow your eyes to close. And allow my words to be your words. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Just slowly breathing in. And allow that energy, that truth of who you are to radiate to every cell of your body. Breathing in wholeness, light, and love. And as you slowly breathe out, just let your worries, your cares, just float away for this moment, this time. Slowly breathing in, being in this moment, right here, right now, in truth. And as we do this, slowly breathing in, slowly breathing out, we allow that beauty that is God, that is our truth, to shine forth and to radiate out. Just like a golden light radiating out from the center of the being of who we are, to share, to be. So let's take a few moments now just to feel that, to be that. Now as we prepare to come back to this place, to this time, let us know we are one in God, and so it is. So when you're able to open your eyes, open your heart, and see your truth. Thank you.
If you are here for the first time, you have received a packet of information about unity and about our church. Please know we welcome you, we bless you, and we invite you to join us for coffee, snacks, and conversation in Fellowship Hall after the service. Please fill out the form on the back of the envelope and give it to Reverend Margot. This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to give back to the work of Spirit through our offerings and tithes. We give in love and gratitude for our own prosperity in its many forms, which comes through us, through God, our instant, constant, and abundant source. Will the ushers please come forward? I invite you to hold your offering in your hand as we say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all of the good I have and have, all the good I give and receive, and I am grateful.
Would the ushers please come forward? And please join me as we bless the offering. And we're not circling up, unfortunately, as I love to do, but we will have our prayer for protection and the peace offering. Well, our prosperity affirmation, I guess we ought to go first. Together. We affirm the continued growth and prosperity of the spiritual center of Waco, and we are grateful. Now we'll try the prayer for protection. All right. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
I am in the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Sorry.